Well, good morning and welcome to FYI. And today we're going to talk sports with Cindy Rasche. Of course, everybody knows the Hall of Famer, involved with tennis for a number of years. Point that microphone down just a little bit, Cindy. There you go. So we're going to be in here talking about the River City Tennis Association, then we'll ramble about other things as well. But when did the River City Tennis Association all come about, Cindy?
Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me, Gary. 7 years ago, it came to pass.
And we had that beautiful indoor facility. How long has that been in existence now?
24 years.
You're kidding me, 24 years?
Yeah, it's great.
I never would have guessed that. So tell us about the River City Tennis Association.
Well, it's a group of volunteers that's set up with a working board, and they do all kinds of wonderful things because, of course, we're a nonprofit group, and they'll help with tournaments, they help with cleaning the facility, they'll volunteer and bring food in for different events that we have. They are just an absolutely wonderful group of people. Right now we have some helping and volunteering with the bathrooms and new storage area that we're building onto the building. So, I mean, they are just wonderful people who just work their little tails off.
And now you do have a president of the board, and then there are board members. Are there certain lengths of terms for these people at all? Somebody wants to talk to you already, Cindy. Somebody calling in on the show.
But sorry, Gary.
That's okay. So, I mean, you do have a president in Brenda. Is it Doucette? Is that?
Yes, she is absolutely fantastic. She just does a wonderful job. Good Christian lady who has her act together always and is positive and bubbly and just a joy to work with.
Now, does she have a certain length of term then, or how does that work?
Yeah, she'll be bowing out in a year. So we've got a really nice group of people. Randy Current, Gene Bikema, Bernie Weckworth, Shane Haskell, Case Fuller, Jackie Glon make up our team right now as a board.
As well as Cindy Rasche.
And me too.
I would imagine you're probably always on the board, aren't you?
I am. I get to head that up quite a bit with things.
Yes. Now, you are also involved with the Iowa Tennis Association, and you were just recently in Des Moines, right?
Yes, I spent the weekend in Des Moines for that, and that is just a wonderful association. They do all kinds of things for tennis, and they offer grants and different people to come and do things, and so we were very blessed last year. We received the most grants in Iowa, which was over $8,000, so that's a huge help to our programs that we run.
How do you get those grants? Do you have to write something up for those grants?
Yeah. Cindy writes this up and sits at a computer for a long time and gets those sent out. But it's a wonderful way to get kids involved in tennis and get them things that they need. And I've been blessed by other people in our own community who have donated money to us so that kids that maybe parents are between jobs or things along those lines, that they can have some scholarship money and still be able to play. So that's a wonderful thing right there, that kids that are underprivileged can get some lessons.
Again, visiting with Cindy Rasche, you know, you saying that reminds me of when you won the state championship. You were a blue-collar team going up against all these other schools where some of the players had individual coaches outside of the school coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was entertaining. I remember these girls asking us, well, no, who are your real coaches? Who are your pros? And they're like, our tennis coaches. So that was very entertaining back then. Yeah.
I would think so.
Yeah.
So now there were a couple of Clinton girls, I understand, who were just recently honored.
Yes. Tinley Siwi received the Sportsmanship Award for the 14 and unders in the state, which is way exciting and is just a lovely person, a well-rounded athlete, and she'll be coming in for us next year as a freshman.
And I like what you said about her, the nicest person that'll ever beat you.
That is way true. And she is a sweetheart. She's always kind of nice. She puts in extra time. You know, oh, coach, you need some help moving those balls here to there or things like that. She sees a need and she jumps right in right away to help.
Well, Dad's a coach, so she knows what helping is all about.
Oh, yeah, that family is absolutely wonderful. And Micah and I have worked together so that we can make things work out with the fall tennis situation for us to help us out with that, too.
Yeah, look, why? Okay, right now it's a spring sport. Why are they going to the fall?
Well, a year ago sat on that board. You rotate out every 3 years, so I'm not there this year. But we sat on that board, and when it was brought up at the state level, and it's been brought up multiple times and shut down, well, 7 coaches of spring tennis sat there and said, don't do this. This will not be good for girls tennis. And the board above us just went right over the top of that and said, nope, we're moving to the fall. So I'm a very proactive person, and so I can find some positive things and try to work that out. So right away I got together with Siwi and chatted with him and said, let's get these schedules to work so that everybody can be successful and that we're not hitting your dates and you're not hitting my dates, and we can make this work. So I'm excited about that because I think everything's going to work out okay for us. I think it's a lot tougher on smaller schools because you don't have as many kids and it's harder to share. And let's face it, if your kid is a volleyball player, a lot of times they're playing on these AAU type teams that you pay thousands of dollars to do that, and they're not paying them any kind of money for tennis. So they're like, oh, we spent thousands, so we're going to send you over here. So I think that will impact some of the smaller schools more so than it will impact the bigger schools.
Yeah, I could see, like a Pleasant Valley or the Ankeny's, the Des Moines area schools. I mean, they do have good all-around athletes, but primarily, if a tennis player is a tennis player, it's specialized, exactly.
Yes, yeah. So, you're going to see that a lot with the little schools. It's going to be harder for them.
And, we had a young lady, Ceci Hahn, who this past spring did both track and tennis. Didn't really work out for her so much because of an injury, but, she doesn't play volleyball, so that's good.
You know what? I'm so excited for her this year because during the summer she played a lot of tournaments and she ran across the number 2 girl in the state twice and beat her badly both times. So I'm excited for her because I'm thinking, oh, that's the number 2 girl in the state and you just beat her 2-1. Good job, Ceci. So excited for her to see what happens. I just hope she isn't injury plagued or that maybe they do a little less track and focus a little more on tennis.
There was another young lady who got a really nice scholarship. She's down at Augustana?
Yes, that is Grace Evers, and I was so excited for her. Barb Fackel was a wonderful person involved in USTA tennis for years, clear up to the national level, and so she left a lovely chunk of money so that they can always give $1,000 each year to someone who plays tennis at the college level, and Grace received that.
How many... You probably don't know the exact number, but you've been so successful, and the Clinton High River Queen tennis program has been so successful through the years. How many girls have actually had the opportunity to go to play at the college level?
Oh my gosh. First I need to say that that's a God thing. That's not a Cindy thing, that we have success. He sends the right people always to do the right things. Wow. I've never sat and thought about how many have gone on to play, but we've had quite a few.
Yeah,
because we've had thousands of kids go through.
You've had some family members.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yeah, all our family members went, and we were blessed. We had a state champion in each one of them in some category, so feel very blessed that way, too.
How did the Rasches get involved in tennis?
Well, my brother really loved summer tennis when he went to it when he was in 5th grade, and I always wanted to emulate what he did. I looked up to my big brother, and so when I got to 5th grade, I jumped in too, and we just had a genuine love for it and wanted to have other people have some joy and some fun, because you can play that from the time you're 3 till you're 93, so it's a great lifetime sport.
Let's get into the pickleball phase, or should I say craze.
Yes.
How did this all come about?
Well, it's the fastest growing sport in the entire world, not just in the United States. It's here too. But it's just a wonderful sport that anybody can play, and you can pick it up in 15, 20 minutes, and away you go with everybody else. So it's a very enjoyable thing and a good activity where it's good for your heart and good for your health, and so it's a blessing.
So is very active here in the community, and you've got a tournament coming up.
We do. We have what we call the Spooktacular tournament, since Halloween's right around the corner. And we have close to 100 people that come in each year. And believe it or not, these adults are dressed in their costumes. And we give out prizes for the costumes. And then they can get first, second, or third place medals when they play in the actual tournament. But they just have a ball. And it's great to see them. It's fun. And it's a good social thing along with being a great tournament.
Do you have like leagues? Are there seasons that particulars for the pickleball players?
Well, we just run year round. We offer lessons, drill sessions. We have open play times. We have leagues that run, and we have tournaments. So it's just all there.
And did you ever imagine this being this big?
Not when we first started
With
it.
your tennis background, I mean, did you think, oh, what, pickleball? Come on, it's not like tennis.
You know what? The tennis players are really good at pickleball. I mean, like when I first learned, 2 weeks after I learned, I won a pickleball tournament because I was a tennis player. It wasn't because I was a great pickleball player, but I had the skills that it took. So anybody can do it. You know, if you were a racquetball player or ping pong player, you're going to be really good at that before you ever start. So that's a nice thing.
I was talking to Randy Schmidt, who plays some pickleball.
Oh, God, he's great.
And he was talking about how you could tell, like, people that have different backgrounds on how they approach, like the tennis players, the ping pong players. He goes, it's different.
And he was a really good racquetball player.
Okay,
so
racquetball, that was the other
he transferred over from racquetball and is a very good player. Yeah. And he'll love that you mentioned him, Gary.
Yeah, I know he will. You've got some other notes there before we let you go. What did you want to bring up? I've been asking all the questions, and you got this bunch of notes there.
Gary, you're always so thorough. I think you hit everything. Oh, I think the one thing that I did not cover was I wanted to thank Brenda Doucette and Deb Olson because they do all our Facebook and websites for us. And that is just a huge thing off my plate. It allows me to work with the programming and things that we need to do and running the facility. So I just wanted to say a huge thank you to them. And Gary, I want to thank you bunches because you just do all kinds of things for people in this community.
Well,
thank you. Thank you.
Okay, before we let you go, if people would like to get involved with the River City Tennis Association or pickleball, there are memberships available, right?
Yes, you can be a member or a non-member. For example, if you're going to play pickleball for 3 hours, it's $8 at open play. For a non-member, it's $6 for a member. You know, where can you find that kind of fun for 3 hours for $6? Can't even go to the movie theater hardly anymore for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what, is there a website? How can
Yeah, we have a website, and we also, you can call me at 563-249-3132, and that's on the website also at River Cities Tennis.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you, Gary.
Let's check the weather now, brought to you by Frary Lumber.
We are going to see a nice start to your Thursday. Plenty of